What's up, and welcome back to Interpreting the Stars, where today we're talking about Spotlight. Now, this is a film that won Best Picture in the Academy Awards back when it came out, and like many Best Picture nominees and winners, it was also a film I hadn't ever seen before. It's been on my watch list for several years at this point, so now I get to answer if I think it deserved its win or if it should have gone to another title. Well, during the 2016 Oscars, the nominees for Best Picture that didn't win were Bridge of Spies, Mad Max Fury Road, The Revenant, The Martian, The Big Short, Room, and Brooklyn. Most of those I've seen. I have yet to see The Big Short, and I'm planning to watch that soonish, but we'll just say this. Out of this list, the one that I think I would have liked to see win would be either Room or The Martian, but what I feel like should have won was The Revenant. I'll be honest, I don't even think Spotlight deserved the nomination. Good story, yeah, important 100%, but Best Picture and Material? Nah, Best Picture, at least in my opinion, deals with much more with every aspect of a film. Every aspect. So, smart visuals, cinematography, editing, music, sound performances, character development, story, entertainment, narrative, everything. In order for something to win Best Picture, I don't think a movie can miss anything. And as important of a story this film tells, it misses the mark in a lot of little technical areas, and so for me, Spotlight shouldn't have even received a plaudit. Let's get cracking. This review is brought to you by the word of the day, plaudit, an act or round of applause. Spotlight tells the story of a highly revered investigative team found in the Boston Globe newspaper called Spotlight. They are known to take years to write their stories because they're the best of the best at what they do. They are soon prompted to look into and write a story about the treacherous criminal activity that the Catholic priests have been up to. You see, dozens of them have been molesting young boys, and the church has been covering it up. The deeper Spotlight gets, the more they uncover about the conspiracy that reaches unfathomable depths. Before I start sounding like I hate the movie, I want to first state that I don't, not by a long shot. I can tell you that the film was made well for the most part, and it tells a deeply important message, made even more tragic by the fact that it's a true story. Now, I'm sure that the meaningful messages behind the film, combined with the decent performances by everybody, helped secure this film in its eventual win. But it really isn't everything that it needed to be. Heck, it's not even what I wanted it to be. I knew the general idea behind the film. That is, it's about uncovering the conspiracy within the church and how they molested children. That I get. What I didn't get was that it didn't start at the very beginning. The very first allegation that this is what priests are doing, and we're all gonna be mind blown. This movie kind of starts in the middle of it, where people are already aware of the allegations, they just don't know how bad it is. So we never get that initial shock of disgust or anything. We just get, hey, you remember how priests are disgusting? Yeah, I think I remember that. That's nothing. Sure, it gets tenser as the film progresses, but it isn't what I wanted. I also wasn't a huge fan of the newspaper angle because everybody here is just really professional about it. So they themselves don't have a lot of outraged responses. There's a couple of scenes here and there where you feel the emotion behind what people are discovering, but I wanted to see people feeling utterly betrayed, violated, and angry. From beginning to end, I wanted to see that as the drive, and again, I didn't feel that. Their drive can be compared instead to curiosity. And they pull off their roles rather well. I like a good investigative story, and that part alone is carried out magnificently. But I guess my major complaint about the film is the bag of emotions that I wanted to see but didn't. I also found a majority of the film to be boring. This took me several days to finish. It's a 2-hour-long movie, and it felt like it would never end. I know that's more of an uncommon and unpopular opinion not shared by many others, but because it didn't start where I wanted it to start, and because it didn't contain the emotions that I wanted it to see, I couldn't really relate to these characters. On a much less specific but still technical vantage point, I wasn't that enthralled by the visuals. Some cinematography was okay, but nothing that is game-changing. I've already forgotten the musical score, and the characters all blend in together. That mostly has to do with the fact that it's a true story, and in real life, people are not that unique. Throughout the movie, Mark Ruffalo is seen interviewing this one guy, Rachel McAdams is interviewing somebody else, but could Mark Ruffalo's character be interviewing Rachel McAdams' interviewee, and vice versa? Absolutely. They're just reporters reporting. That's their jobs. And as such, none of them felt like they were the only actors or characters that could pull off these roles. None. So that goes into casting. For the most part, I don't get what the big deal was. The movie's fine, and it tells a very important story, but there's so many areas that's far from perfect. Let's take a look at my final score for a minute. From an unbiased technical level, I'll say that what they did in this film was decent, but honestly, mostly average. that score 74%, and because I was incredibly bored with this film and find it to be mostly overrated, my personal bias score is a little bit lower at 66%. Averaging everything out together, we come to a final rating of 70%, 70 out of 100 possible stars, so that's a 7 out of 10 score, and a C- letter grade. That means what it sounds like it means, that it's a decent film with a good story, but nothing game-changing or life-altering. I expected more, and I wish it was as good as everybody else says it is, but for me, no. Anyways, guys, let's hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Rip me a new one and tell me how wrong I am. As for YouTube, you guys know what to do. Hit the thumbs up button if you did enjoy this review, because there's always more like it coming out each and every single day. Hit the subscribe button and bell to be notified when I come out with my next review. Until then, peace out.
Dave examines movies we just watch for fun. Davey is the expert. He is the #1 critic that I go to when I need a movie pick. Thanks for joining up with us. We